Autumn's here, but if you think it's too late to sow seeds for a harvest this season, think again. Here are 7 of the speediest vegetables that will be harvesting fresh food in a matter of weeks. First up, radishes. These crisp and crunchy roots are among the very fastest vegetables out there, ready in as little as 4 weeks from sowing. And in fact, all of the vegetables I will be mentioning today will be ready to harvest this side of winter in as little as 1 to 2 months. That's fast. Now is a great time to sow them, in fact, because radishes absolutely relish the cool of autumn. They are also far less likely to be bothered by flea beetles at this time of year, and of course they are super easy to grow. Sow the seeds directly into well-drained soil about 1/2 inch or 1 centimetre apart. Now these also grow really well in containers. They're the perfect potted plant, in fact. Once you're done, cover them over, and then if conditions are dry, keep your radishes well watered, and in next to no time, a matter of days, you'll have those lovely fresh shoots pushing through. Harvest them while they are young, a little bigger than marble size, to enjoy them while they are still tender and crunchy. Next up is arugula, or perhaps more appropriately, rocket. This is another absolute speedster that is ready to harvest within about 5 weeks, and it will give pleasingly warm, pleasantly pungent leaves for adding to salads and sandwiches. Arugula, or rocket, loves the cool of early autumn and will even thrive in partial shade. Now just scatter the seeds this time over your raked soil like this. This is what's called broadcast sowing, because the seeds are being broadcast all over. You can then add a little bit more compost or soil over the top to cover them, or my preference, just lightly rake the soil to contact the seeds with those crumbs of soil like that, and then, just to be sure, firm everything back with the back of the rake like that. Water them gently and keep the soil nice and moist, and before long you will have those lovely fresh vibrant greens ready to pick. A great alternative or addition to arugula is mustard, which has similarly spicy leaves. Now these guys, both arugula and mustard, are great also sown into shallow crates or old mushroom trays that can then be brought under cover when it does get a bit cold. And I'll pop a link to a video on exactly how to do that in the description below. Chard is always going to be a winner in my garden for its luscious leaves, which you can keep picking for months on end. But with the growing season rapidly drawing to a close, it's time for something else to step in. Step up spinach. Spinach is another fantastic choice for sowing in autumn. It's absolutely loaded with nutrients, as we know, and can be ready to pick from sowing just 40 days later. It loves the cooler weather of early autumn, so now is a really great time to sow it. Look for varieties though that are described as quick growing to make sure you get a harvest before the cold weather returns. Spinach can easily be sown direct into the ground, where it's to grow about 1/2 inch or 1 centimetre deep into rows about 30 centimetres deep. I, as you can see, are sowing mine into plug trays, and the reason for that is there's just not quite enough space up there, so I can start these guys off while earlier crops are finishing off up there. That's a great example of succession sowing and is a fantastic way to get even more from the space you have. Now it's just a couple of seeds going into each plug, and then I'll just cover them back over with a little bit more of my sieved potting mix here. I will keep these well watered, then once the young spinach has grown on a bit, I'll plant them outside about 8 inches or 20 centimetres apart in both directions. Now I'll need to keep them well watered initially, and then once the leaves have reached a big enough stage, I can begin harvesting. Spinach is a cut and come again leaf, which means so long as I just pick a few leaves from each plant, taking the outermost leaves, the plant will continue to grow, yielding even more. Lettuce is the classic cool season crop, and loose leaf varieties, the types that don't form a tight head, are the perfect ones to sow for a quick harvest. Depending on the weather where you are and how quickly summer is winding down, you can expect to be picking leaves just 40 or even 30 days from sowing. The best thing I love about lettuces though is how super easy they are to grow. Now today I'm going to be sowing this rather stunning salad leaf mix here. This is a cut and come again mix of the very best loose leaf lettuces, perfect for growing in rows like this. I've marked out my rows and they're a little over 6 inches or 15 centimetres apart, and then it's just little pinches of seeds like this along the bottom like that, and then just cover them over and give them a good water. Now I will, like my spinach, keep these nicely well watered as they grow, and then the young leaves can be harvested in much the same way, cut and come again, picking the odd leaf from each plant and then leaving the others to grow on. Kale is one of those superfoods that is just perfect for growing in cooler weather. Now, while plants do take a little bit longer to fully mature, you can enjoy baby kale leaves like these for salads in just 30 days. This variety here is Red Russian and it's just beautiful, but I reckon we should sow some more. Just like our other leafy lovelies, these seeds can be sown either in rows or broadcast like I'm going to do here next to my arugula or rocket. That way I'll have 2 beds of broadcast seedlings. Now when these come up, I have the option of thinning them out a bit if they do look a bit too cramped together, leaving the seedlings about 6 inches or 15 centimetres apart. And like before, I'm just going to rake to make sure the seeds have good contact with the soil, and then just firm it all in and give it a good drink to start them off. Soon we will be seeing those beautiful, lovely curly leaves emerging. Harvest them nice and small for salads or indeed sautéing, and with regular picking they should keep on cropping well into winter. Onions make my list because everyone needs a hit of oniony goodness even this late in the season. Now this time I'm going for a salad onion, and it's a winter hardy variety that I'm sowing about in rows about 6 inches or 15 centimetres apart, and I'm dropping the seeds so they fall about 1 centimetre or ½ inch apart, and once those are covered over they'll get a nice water to get them growing away nicely. Now the variety I'm choosing is a classic long salad onion called White Lisbon that is quite hardy, so make sure you're choosing a variety like that. While the full stems, the bulbs if you like, won't really form until next spring, what I can be harvesting this side of winter are the lovely green leaves to give myself some beautiful onion greens to add to my other salad leaves. Once the little seedlings pop up, I will let them grow on a bit and then thin them out in stages, and it'll be those thinnings that form my first delicious harvest of these lovely salad onions. Beets or beetroot are a 2-for-1 crop. You can harvest the tender baby beets as soon as 50 days from sowing, or the lovely greens, the foliage of your beets, even sooner. And the leaves absolutely look sublime with their beautiful red purple veins, really pretty on the plate. Oh, and did I mention they taste delicious too? Sow the seeds about 1 inch or 2 to 3 centimetres apart, and about ½ inch or 1 centimetre deep. Now I'll cover these over, give them a good water, and once they are up, I'll be thinning them to about 3 inches or 8 centimetres apart. Now the young leaves are ready to harvest once they reach a couple of inches tall, and I take just 1 or 2 leaves from each plant at a time, so you're not kind of stripping it of all that foliage, which will help to swell the baby roots. And then the baby roots are good to harvest once they get to about the size of a table tennis ball. Depending on where you are growing, your late season sowings may appreciate from a little bit of cold protection once temperatures start to drop. Now, even a simple cover can extend the season by as much as 2 weeks, which at this time of year can make a lot of difference when every single degree is precious. Something like this tent style arrangement should do the job quite nicely. Now this one has got netting around it to keep all the butterflies and other kind of pests off, but then once the temperatures start to drop you can just add a cover. Then as we head into the chill of winter, you can pop on something like this polythene cover here to keep things nice and snug in here. Now this is a really simple setup, and the best thing is it all breaks down just like a tent to store for the summer months. I also like my go-to homespun solution, which uses this kind of blue water piping here. Now it comes in big coils and I cut it down to size using a little saw, and then I just poke it in at each corner of the bed like this as my hoops, and then just add my cover over the top. Currently insect mesh, but this will be replaced with something warmer like fleece once the season does progress. As things start to cool off a bit and get wetter, you may also find that slug and snail damage starts to pick up, and they will absolutely love all of that fresh, young, tender growth that you are planting. Now, I've been away for a couple of weeks and I can see a bit of slug damage here. So let me show you what I do to keep damage to the absolute minimum. While longer grass is great for the likes of frogs and toads, I like to keep the area immediately around my beds nice and tightly shorn. This ensures there are no hiding places for slugs, and the birds that feed on them can easily find those slimy foes and devour them. You can also set up little slug traps towards the edge of your plot, not right in amongst your leafy salads to draw the slugs in, but towards the edge so you can intercept them as they get into your garden. Just sink a little ramekin or similar shallow dish like that, leaving a slight lip so the ground beetles don't fall in, and then fill it with your beer. This is my home brew, a bit of a waste, but you know, the slugs can die a happy death. Now, if you'd like more on controlling slugs or protecting crops from the creeping chill of winter, check out these videos next. Keep on growing, you can do it, and I will catch you next time.